Hey there, how are you doing? Today's a good day because we're going to learn about Google's Antigravity CLI. I'm going to take you step by step through how I let Antigravity CLI take over my repository. This repository consists of a quantitative trading agent which can place trades, sells, and buys on the trading platform. However, our trading agent lacks a crucial element. It lacks a stop loss feature. So we will ask Antigravity CLI to implement a stop loss feature in our trading agent. I hope you have fun as you come to the journey with me. So here's the setup of the problem. I currently have a quantitative trading agent which lives within one of Google Workbench instances. This is the favorite thing for me when it comes to GCP. So I have one in this instance here. I'm going to open it. As you can see, it's a computer, it's a Linux system basically, and I can have my code repositories in the file system and all of that. I can have a terminal here. As you can see, my trading agent has been trading since about a month. And here is an important disclaimer. This is a test trading system. So it's not completely live. Okay. So as you can see here, for example, I have a few stocks which are in my target portfolio: WDC, MU, Light, XTX, and CN. Well, this was a couple of weeks ago. So what have we got now? Probably about the same thing. Okay, this was a couple of days ago. Okay, for example, we do have MUs. That is micron technology, which has been really hot lately. Let's see how micron technology has done lately. So I have a page here with Micron Technology. We can see that over the past 6 months, Micron Technology has been killing it. It's if you bought Micron Technology 6 months ago, you'd have nearly tripled your money at the peak here. But over the last month, right, it peaked around like the 25th of June, as we can see. But over the last couple of weeks, it has decreased by 25%. So if you did have a portfolio featuring Micron Technology, you would have been on a roller coaster. You would have been really enjoying the ride up to the peak to about 12,000, $1,200. But then you might have felt a little bit shaky when it started to downturn of about 25% to less than $950. So, what is a stop loss? A stop loss can help you prevent this by each time scanning whether the price of the stock has decreased to a certain amount. And you can set up that amount. If the stock decreased below that, then you can sell it and have your holdings in cash instead. That way, you won't have to experience all this downturn. And its trading stop loss extends this concept a little bit more. A trading stop loss says monitor the very peak of the stock at every moment. And if there's a deviation of 5% from the peak of the stock in the downwards direction, then please to sell the stock. So if I had a stop loss, for example, here, then I would have sold the stock maybe at 1,145 instead of going all the way down to 900 and something. So there are a lot of benefits to having a stop loss or a trading stop loss, in this case in the portfolio, and that's what I'm going to ask Antigravity CLI to do for me. Well, the very first step is to have Antigravity installed on my system. So I have typed in Google here, installed Antigravity. I should have added CLI, but Google is clever enough that it can also suggest a link for Antigravity CLI. And here I have some installation instructions on macOS and Linux. I can just type this. So I'm going to copy this command line and I'm going to go to my instance here. I am going to start a new terminal in order to do that. I told you that workbench instances are my favorite thing about DCP. So I copied and I'm pasting here. Oh, well, let me just authorize this quickly. There you go. And just like that. Okay, it's gonna require some time to install. Oh, and it's already installed. Great. Now, just to make my life easier, I am going to add it to the pod. It's a wonderful thing that it actually suggests adding it to the pod. There you go. And once it's installed, I can see here that I can just call it by typing the command AGI. Does it sound like artificial general intelligence? Instead of an I, we have a Y here. So I'm going to go ahead, AGI, and there you go. So the first thing that Antigravity CLI asks me to do is to authenticate myself. That makes sense. And it gives two options for that, either Google authentication or using a GCP project. I'm going to go with the first option. So I'm going to copy this and paste it somewhere here. Okay, and I'm required to sign in. I'm going to use my Google account that is linked to my GCP and complete the authentication requirement and paste this code into your application to complete authentication. So I'm going to copy this and let's go back. Let's see, what am I told? Okay, apparently I have to paste the authorization code here. That's what I'm doing. Okay, great. Yay, we signed in. Let's start serious business. Okay, we are asked to choose some customization options here for the terminal. I'm going to go with just terminal. Um, yes, I agree. So you can skip all the boring parts. Yes, I trust this folder. Okay, finally, we are here. So we do reach this page, and this setup right here on the screen is where you'll spend 99% of your interactions with the agent with Antigravity CLI. So here you have an input where you can write your prompts and your comments to the agent. And my first prompt is literally just going to check where we are now, what repository we are now. Okay, so where are you? And the nice thing is that we can use natural language. So I am running in your workspace directory at T212 test on the Linux system. Okay, great. That's exactly where I want it to be. So because that's the case, I will ask Antigravity CLI to implement our feature. I have prepared a small prompt here, nothing too complicated. I would like you to add to this trading agent an important heading feature, a trailing stop loss. I would like you to first deeply understand what this repository is about, understand the code, and proceed with the best possible implementation of the trailing stop loss. This is very important. Please make no mistakes. Well, you can understand that I like being very much verbose in my and repetitive in my prompt. So let's throw this at Antigravity CLI and let's see what it comes up with. I have my prompt, so it is starting to work. It is cooking. Okay, so a very important thing in interacting with Antigravity CLI is that at some point it might start to request some permission from you or ask you some question or whatsoever. So in this case, it is requesting permission for PyTest test. Let's see. So do you want to proceed? I have the option to say yes, yes, and I always allow in this conversation, yes, and always allow for comments starting with PyTest. I am probably going to go with the second. So yes, always allow in this conversation. It's cooking. As you can see, it goes through cycles of thinking and doing. So, for example, here, thought for 3 seconds, confirming optimization strategy, thought for 7 seconds, investigating code structure, and so on and so forth. So the agent is doing what it does best. You can see its trail of thought here, and at the end of the process, it came back with a report. I have successfully implemented a robust trading stop loss hedging feature for your trading 212 quantitative strategy trading agent and apply critical optimizations and bug fixes to ensure the full test suite passes with flying colors. All 65 tests are now passing successfully, including the 4 new tests written for the trailing stop loss feature. How amazing is that? We just passed a prompt to our terminal Antigravity CLI, and it was able to understand our existing code repository, analyze it, investigate the changes that needed to be made, and actually implemented those changes, wrote test cases for those changes, and verify that the code was robust in itself. And here I do have a summary of its key accomplishments and improvements. It implemented a continuous hedging loop. It implemented persistent stop loss peaks. So it persisted the peaks of our stop losses of the price of the stock, and it allowed the possibility for flexible configuration that was already a feature of the code, but it added stop loss to these configuration options, and then it gave us as well robust mathematical solvers and bug fixes. So we could probably go into the code and look at this. For example, here I realized that my tests have been updated. So this has been updated. I'm just going to search for stop loss in there, which was not existing. Yes, we can see some footprints of the agent in our code, and probably if we go to the source folder, as you can see, these files were modified 13 minutes ago, which means that Antigravity had something to do there. So at the end of the day, I have an agent, a trading agent enabled with a stop loss feature. I hope that through this walkthrough of how I use Antigravity CLI to implement a trailing stop loss feature in my quantitative trading agent, you've been able to see how you could use Antigravity CLI for your own projects. As you can see, the setup is really simple. You just need to install it and then open your terminal and run the AGI command. And from there, it becomes very intuitive. You just pass prompt in natural languages and you let Antigravity CLI cook. I hope you'll have fun having Antigravity CLI take over your projects and making you more productive.